Dear friends, the topic for today is Hawking raised 3 views identical to mine. Hubris, you must be thinking. Who's the guy named Hawking? One of the greatest scientists in history. He proposed 3 views that are the same as mine. Well, maybe my views are the same as his, but let me tell you, my friends, these viewpoints are certainly not borrowed from Hawking. More likely, he referenced mine. Why is this so? You will know when I reveal it to you later. I also wrote an article with the exact same title as this topic. Hawking raised 3 views identical to mine and published it on the Frontline magazine of Hong Kong in the second half of 2017. I used this article as the preface of my book, Saving Humanity, in English version. First, why do I claim that Hawking probably had drawn on my views? Because I posted my books, articles, and blogs on websites in English. Particularly, I chose some sites that Hawking might have the chance to read. First, when I finished writing Saving Humanity, I created a website, Jiaqi.com. This is how it looks like. This is my previous website. It's in Chinese. It has my books, articles, news and comments, letters and exchanges, blogs and poems. I do write poems. When click on this, it will switch to pages in English. It is a bilingual site. My books, articles, news and comments, letters and exchanges, blogs in English. It is an earlier version. Later, there were some updates. This is how it looks now. This is my website at present in both Chinese and English. Soon, more languages will be available. The Chinese version has my books, articles, blogs, news and comments, letters and exchanges, and poems. And a single click goes to English version. Soon, there will be Russian and others. Hawking might have paid little attention to my website. However, I posted many articles regarding my views on a number of English websites, targeting a range of English websites on academic reviews or academic forums, particularly forums on science, physics, political science, etc. I aimed to have my voice heard among those noted scientists. Besides, all articles I published online are linked to my website. I believe my views are of paramount importance, of life and death for humanity. So, what group of people should I influence? First of all, leaders of superpowers. I've written to them a couple of times. Then noted scientists and scholars. I hope they'd acknowledge my viewpoints. I published quite a lot of articles in English websites on science and political science. For instance, I've published articles on www.sciforums.com, on www.usmessageboard.com, and on forums.craigslist.com. Mostly under the username Jiaqi_Beijing. Like I said, www.sciforums.com is a science forum. I'm sure Hawking would frequently visit it. I posted articles on www.usmessageboard.com, which is on science and politics. I believe Hawking would visit it often. Therefore, Hawking must have drawn on my views, rather the opposite. Then who helped me post these articles? It's a friend of mine, an American Chinese who knows about it very well. I asked him to pick up some specific websites for me. Like I said, these forums are not randomly selected, but on purpose. I will make sure top-notch scientists and scholars around the world would have the chance to read them. Politicians, as they are way too busy, may not read them, especially leaders of the superpowers. but those retired politicians should be able to read them. I'm not trying to brag about myself being more extraordinary than Hawking. No. On the contrary, my intention is to promote views by referring to Hawking. Great scientists like Hawking are starting to agree with my core views. Think about it. How can there be any big mistake in my views? These core views are essential. Moreover, I have to point out that Hawking's views are not deep or comprehensive enough. I want to stress that Hawking is an eminent physicist, and I have all due respect for him. I study human problems while Hawking shares with me certain views in this regard. I don't mean to offend him in any way, but just want to promote my view by referring to him as he's famous. Because I believe my views are of paramount importance to humanity. Then what same views do Hawking and I share? I will go on with some elaborations one by one. First, in April of 2010, Hawking pointed out that aliens almost certainly exist because there are billions and billions of galaxies in the universe, and hundreds of millions of stars in each galaxy. We should avoid them and never attempt to contact them, or it would lead to demise of the human race. Because if aliens can travel across interstellar distances to the Earth, they must have possessed far more advanced science and technology than we have. Humans are no match for them. Hawking's reasoning and examples are exactly the same as mine. Yet, 3 years later. This is my book, Saving Humanity, published in July of 2007. The first volume is titled Human Extinction. Look how I wrote about that. Excuse me, I need my glasses. Well, I can't help sighing when I pick up the glasses. I've started studying human problems since 17. By then, I've decided to dedicate my life to it. It's been 40 years now, and my eyesight has deteriorated, yet little progress has been made. I can't help sighing from time to time. Okay, back to the topic. In Section 4, Threats from Extraterrestrial Life, of Chapter 3, External Threats, I wrote, Extraterrestrial life refers to intelligent life from outside our planet. We usually call them aliens. I want to stress that we've been keen on observing extraterrestrial life and sending messages to the outer space. We also sent multiple detectors with information of the human being out of solar system. I don't think it is advisable. Let me put it this way. It should be nothing wrong to observe extraterrestrial life, but sending out information to extraterrestrial life may bring us big troubles. According to our previous analysis, extraterrestrial life is not likely to visit Earth. This conclusion is twofold. For one thing, if we fail to reach aliens and all our efforts prove to be in vain, it'd be a colossal waste of money. Such price is too high for any attempt merely out of curiosity. For another, if extraterrestrial life could really receive our message and visit the Earth with their far more advanced technology, what awaits us would most probably be the demise of humanity. Some said it is immoral for us to detect aliens while we keep ourselves in the dark. How naive this is. We observe extraterrestrial life purely out of curiosity or goodwill. However, we have no guarantee that extraterrestrial life would do the same. Based on the law of survival among humans and animals, the strong always look down and tread on the weak, and creatures from higher level of civilization will always despise those from lower ones. When those from a higher civilization visit the Earth, I think that they would not consider us as human beings. Besides, we are in nature two different species. They may kill us at will, or even take us as their food, which is highly possible. It would be the doomsday of humanity when such a day comes. Therefore, decision makers and scientists of the present day should never continue to try opening that Pandora's box out of curiosity or something, and send humans to their doom. These words are on page 144 and 145 of my book published in July of 2007. Anyone who's interested in reading the full text can visit my website, jiaqi.com. You are also welcome to buy one of my books. It seems that I am promoting my books, but you will have free access to them on my website. My books are too expensive now. They are priced 200 or 300 yuan each by speculators. This is the first view. What about the second same view that Hawking shares with me? In December 2014, Hawking pointed out artificial intelligence, or AI, will eventually give rise to self-consciousness and replace mankind, since technology is advancing faster than biological evolution. The full development of AI could spell the end of the human race. Hawking provided basically the same reasoning and examples like my own, yet 7 years later. He has 2 points in his remarks. First, artificial intelligence may eventually give rise to self-consciousness and replace mankind. Second, the cause of the first point is that technology is advancing faster than biological evolution. So, one is the result, and the other one is the cause. To be exact, Hawking has put forward 4 views that are the same as mine, and his conclusion is the same as mine too. So is the cause. The difference is that I coined a term for the cause: unbalanced evolution. I will focus on unbalanced evolution in the next talk. Not only Hawking, but also other scientists mentioned unbalanced evolution, which is my own term. And I've talked about this issue earlier than other scientists as well. We will talk about this topic in our next episode, rather in today's talk. Hawking suggested that AI's self-awakening would mean the doom of mankind. Nevertheless, his remarks are neither thorough nor deep. AI at current stage works on questions relating merely to logical thinking. Namely, it's only capable of memorizing, calculating, judging, and inferring. However, it falls short in terms of imagination and inspiration. What Hawking referred to is a scenario where AI has inspirations or imaginations. AI then has the capability of wiping out humans in the future. We'd have a long way to go before we reach that level of technology. But even if AI won't have its senses or inspirations, chances are it will bring extinction to us. When AI programs go out of control, for instance, an intelligent robot kills anybody in sight, it is likely to destroy humans. What's more, when an evil scientist inserts a destructive program into AI, it could also kill us all. Therefore, I don't think Hawking had thought of this thoroughly enough. Where did I mention this? Still, the first volume of the same book, Saving Humanity. It is in section 2 of chapter 6. Chapter 6 is Self-Destruction, Part 1. And Section 2 is titled, The Means for Extinction Will Inevitably Appear, Part 2, Deduction from Current Scientific Theories. There are far more means for extinction, I wrote, based on deduction from current scientific theories. For instance, one deduction is, that super intelligent robots with self-replication capability will execute program to destroy the human race. One thing is for sure, which is sooner or later intelligent robots will be developed, i.e. those super intelligent robots with self-replication capability and higher intelligence than humans. When some scientists become mad or robots go wrong, or due to other reasons, these robots would start replicating themselves in large quantities and executing the program to bring the demise of mankind. Where did I put these words? On page 305 of this book. I made this point in July of 2007 while Hawking in December 2014. He was 7 years later. This is the second view, same as mine, proposed by Hawking. The third view is that when in March 2017, in an interview with the London Times, Hawking observed that AI without proper control would cause human destruction. We should identify these threats faster and take actions before losing control. To do so, we need to establish a world government in a certain form. Once again, Hawking's reasoning and examples echo mine, but this time a good 10 years later. Great unification of mankind, the only option to save humanity, is Chapter 1 of my book, Saving Humanity, Volume 2, The Way Out for Mankind. I made a deduction and concluded in Section 5, i.e. radical choice, establishing of a united society. What's my point here? Hawking's view is not thorough or deep enough. Hawking believes that humans will die out because of uncontrollable AI. What's my point of view then? Humans may die out because of uncontrollable AI. There are more technologies than just AI that will result in extinction of the human beings. Now, quite a number of scientists fear that nanorobots developed by nanotechnology would exterminate mankind as they're able to duplicate themselves. Others worry that genetic modified biotoxin would spread superplague and destroy human beings. That said, when AI, nano, and genetic technologies fail to wipe out humans, as long as technological advances continue, something that will succeed would eventually come into being. As a result, it is not merely AI that should be brought under control. What we need is to control the whole spectrum of science and technology by screening and putting restrictions in place. But this is not going to happen with the power of nations. This is because nations, as they compete, will never control science and technology for the sake of mankind. The UN, on the other hand, can't control the nations either. The truth is that super countries are controlling the UN rather than being controlled by the UN. Besides, the world government he mentioned is not precise. When we are talking about world government, we often refer to the executive power of a country. Given the common perspectives, the power of a nation is divided into three: executive power, legislative power, and judicial power. A regime is built upon the tripartite political system. Therefore, we should strive for the grand unification, which not only includes executive power of the society, but also integration of the three powers. So we should call for a world regime to take control and achieve a grand unification, to rely on the world regime for this. In the first and second volumes of the book, an open letter to 26 world leaders serves as the preface. In this open letter, I stated this problem clearly and succinctly. The letter was translated into English and sent to leaders of various countries in January of 2007, including the UN Secretary General, when saving humanity was only a draft. Have a look at what I wrote in the letter. Mankind can be destroyed by natural forces, but a series of researches find out, by the present defensibility of mankind, the earliest crisis threatening mankind's survival caused by nature is 1 billion years later, while the extinction caused by science and technology will be hundreds of years later or much earlier. Clearly, we can see the reason of mankind's extinction is suicide, but not homicide. Therefore, we should not only attach importance to limiting the development of science and technology strictly, but also take actions as soon as possible. Even if we act right now, it is still quite late. It is impossible in current society to strictly restrict the development of science and technology. In order to restrain development of science and technology, there is no other way but to take unified actions across the world. And any lack of coordination at any local part would make this joint effort a failure. A country's behavior cannot be restricted by any power, given the independence of sovereignty and supreme authority of each country, since countries coexist in the world. Even international organizations like the UN cannot do that, because super countries are controlling the UN rather than being controlled by the UN. The unification of the whole world can only count on one regime, or in other words, the great unification of mankind. I've not only mentioned the 3 views raised by Hawking in the book Saving Humanity in 2007, but also other books afterwards. In addition, I published a number of articles and shared my views one by one on journals and the internet in particular. I also posted them on some specific English forums I mentioned earlier, including forums on science and technology, physics, society, and politics. I did so in the hope that these people, such as eminent scientists like Hawking, would have the chance to read them. Now that Hawking has passed away, I hope other scientists and politicians would read them too. I believe we don't have much time left. We should act now. That's all for today. Thank you, my friends.